So the rumors are true. You really bonded with the human. The moment the starship's alarms blared, Rhea knew they were doomed. The violent impact sent her body hurtling against the console, pain exploding in her ribs. Lights flickered, sparks rained from exposed wires, and the metal carcass of the ship groaned as it settled on the cold surface of an unknown moon. Silence followed, thick, suffocating silence. Then, a faint noise. A wheezing, ragged breath. Not human. Rhea forced her body to move, crawling over shattered glass and twisted metal. Her hazel eyes locked onto a figure pinned beneath a fallen support beam. The alien was unlike anything she had ever seen in person, tall, elegant, with deep violet skin that shimmered in the dim emergency lighting. His silver-white hair clung to his forehead, his breathing labored. A Vaelthos. The species humanity had barely begun to understand and barely trusted. Rhea hesitated. The logical choice was to leave him. Her mind screamed caution. Vaelthos were unpredictable, their customs and loyalties unknown. But her instincts, her very humanity, rebelled against the thought. She shoved her doubts aside and grasped the beam, summoning every ounce of strength. With a pained grunt, she lifted, just enough for the alien to pull himself free. He collapsed, gasping, his deep blue eyes locking onto hers. A moment passed. And then another. "I am Zephyr," he rasped, barely able to speak. "You saved me." And in that moment, something unspoken passed between them, a fragile understanding, a spark of something greater than duty or survival. A forbidden bond. Days turned into weeks on the desolate moon. Food was scarce, the air thin, the cold merciless. The two survivors, once strangers, now depended on each other for every breath, every step forward. Zephyr, though weakened from his injuries, possessed knowledge of survival beyond Rhea's. His people had an innate connection to the natural world, sensing subtle changes in the environment. He guided them toward shelter, identified edible plants, and read the stars to gauge their location. Rhea, in turn, taught him resilience, the stubborn defiance of humanity. When all seemed lost, she kept them moving, refusing to surrender to despair. She shared stories of Earth, of the boundless spirit of her people. And in return, Zephyr revealed secrets of the Vaelthos, of their bond rituals, their unspoken traditions, the deep ties of their people. One night, as they sat before the embers of a dying fire, Zephyr hesitated before speaking. "There is something you do not know," he murmured. "Something that has already happened." Rhea turned to him, sensing the weight of his words. "When you saved me," he continued, voice barely a whisper, "you forged a bond with me. A bond that the Vaelthos hold sacred. It cannot be undone." Rhea's breath hitched. She had heard whispers of such things, rumors in humanity's limited interactions with the Vaelthos. An unbreakable connection. But she hadn't realized the depth of its meaning. "What does that mean?" she asked cautiously. Zephyr's gaze burned into hers. "It means that to my people, you are now part of me." Rescue came unexpectedly. A Vaelthos vessel descended upon the moon, its sleek form blotting out the stars. Rhea and Zephyr were taken aboard, their survival an impossibility in the eyes of the crew. Word of their bond spread like wildfire. The Vaelthos were not pleased. Before she could fully comprehend what was happening, Rhea was brought before Queen Mira, the ruler of the Vaelthos. The alien monarch regarded her with an expression that could have frozen a sun. "So the rumors are true," the queen's voice rang across the throne chamber. "You really bonded with the human." Zephyr stepped forward, defiant. "She saved my life. And I hers. Our bond is not weakness, it is strength." Murmurs rippled through the assembled Vaelthos. The queen's piercing gaze bore into Rhea. "You do not understand what you have done, human. This bond is sacred. Irrevocable. To my people, it is akin to merging souls. And yet, you are an outsider. Rhea clenched her fists. Then maybe your people need to ask why they fear what they don't understand. The chamber fell deathly silent. For the first time, Myra's expression shifted. Just slightly. This is unheard of, the Queen admitted. But I will not deny the strength I see before me. She stood, addressing the court. A trial, then. Let them prove their bond before all. Rhea and Zephyr exchanged a glance. The true battle was only beginning. The trial was a test of unity, trust, and strength, three pillars of Vaelthos bonds. They faced challenges designed to break them, grueling mental and physical tests, illusions that preyed on their deepest fears, and obstacles that demanded absolute trust in one another. When Zephyr faltered in the final trial, Rhea caught him. When Rhea hesitated in the face of an impossible decision, Zephyr gave her strength. Together, they endured. Before the gathered court, they stood wounded, exhausted, but unbroken. Queen Mira regarded them for a long moment before finally speaking. You have defied expectations. You have endured. I cannot ignore the truth. She stepped forward. Your bond is real. And I will not stand in its way. A hushed gasp spread through the assembly. The old ways had been challenged. The future had shifted. Rhea exhaled, heart pounding. They had done the impossible. Humanity and Vaelthos had always walked separate paths. But now, something new had begun, something neither side could ignore. Rhea and Zephyr stood side by side as the stars stretched before them. The journey ahead would not be easy. There would be those who rejected change, those who feared the unknown. But they had already survived the impossible. And together, they would forge a future where bonds transcended species, fear, and tradition. As the Vaelthos ship carried them toward destiny, Rhea turned to Zephyr and smirked. So does this make me an honorary Vaelthos? Zephyr chuckled, his blue eyes gleaming. I think it makes you something even greater. They stepped into the unknown together.